Hey, what's up guys, Yin Dragon here, and for today's episode on my Paydays 2 Armory, we'll be covering up the American China Lake grenade launcher, or in this game they call it the China Puff. The China Lake is, of course, a pump-action grenade launcher, and it was designed in 1997, and was in service in 1968, still present, but in very limited use. The weapon who designed the China Lake is Alfred F. Kermode, and the weapon manufactured by the Naval Air Weapons Station, China Lake facility. And the design for it is to replace the M79 to be able to fire a lot more rapidly, and that's basically about it. And of course the Navy SEALs were very impressed with the design, so of course they want to have more of these. Since the regular 2 magazine held with the 40 by 46 millimeter grenades, and so with one grenade in the chamber, I'll get to all that stuff later. But I think it's due to the cost of the way how it was made. It's probably made in limited numbers. So that's probably why we won't see as much. And that's why they probably went over to the M79, just how simple it is. And it doesn't need to cost a lot. But I'll compare between the two, and first glance, a lot of people mistake these for one and the other. People call the China Lake the M79, and people call the M79 a China Lake, which really gives me a cringy headache just from hearing people, because these two are not the same. The only thing that are like similar to each other is the leaf flip-up sight, the 40 millimeter grenade, and essentially the little trigger guard that can be folded to the side. Let me show, for example. You can see the look of the M79 is pretty straightforward. You have a large barrel, like a large pipe. Of course, you have the wooden stock, and you can see the stock, the way it was shaped, as it was made to aim the weapon up and basically fire it. And plus, when you load it up, it's just like a double barrel shotgun, where you had to basically break the action by pulling the little switch or the little lever to either side to get the round, to get the empty casing out and load up a new round. As for the China Lake, it doesn't have that weird stock, and plus the only wooden part about it is the stock, where the M79 does have a little bit of wood at the front of the handguard, and you can see this weapon is a pump action. Also, it's feed from a tube feeding system, just like most shotguns. And you can see there's really no brake action to the side either. And the reason I'm making this statement is people can confuse these two grenade launchers by a mile, especially if you just look at just basically half of the gun. If you just look at very much at the barrel, you'll probably see they're quite similar, but just to let you know that you have a two-feed system underneath the barrel, while the M79 doesn't. Alright, let's actually get to now the actual stats on the China Lake. So this is a secondary grenade launcher. So it has a magazine capacity of 3, which in real life, it's actually possible to load up 4 rounds in the China Lake. You load up 3 in the tube, and you load an extra one into the chamber. Of course, we have total ammo of 6, rate of fire of 50 RPM, damage of 96, accuracy of 96, stability of 96, concealment of 18, fret of 37, and a reload time of 5.3 seconds. And yes, I'm playing on the console version, so we don't have the optimal range, which the PC does, so I'll of course play a little differently, but I will try to point out the differences between the PC and the console version when it comes to the weapons in later videos. Now let's of course it's a pretty assisting grenade launcher, especially that's a secondary. Before it used to have 1300 damage, just like the M79, but Overkill decided to nerf it because they were way too good as a secondary weapon. In terms of how versatility you have, and plus, you compare it with an assault rifle, an LMG, a shotgun, a sniper rifle, and even a minigun. It was too powerful of a combo, and not a lot of people would use other weapons, especially for an armored build. So actually, let's look at the gun model itself. Now we can see it is very similar, as like I mentioned, it is very similar to see it has the same M79 flip up leaf sight, just like the M79. And funny enough, these are actually the M79's flip up sight. They just take it off from the M79 barrel and just attach it to the China Lake. Of course, we got our little sling to wrap your little, of course, one of the things that you put your sling on. We have our pump action. We have our feeding system at the bottom. Our trigger guard can be flipped from either side, either for disassembly or for glove users. And of course, at the right side, of course, we got the ejector port. And of course, every time you pump it, a shell comes out after you fire it. And of course, we have a little fire selector right on the top. Of course, I think the bottom at the back is safe, and pushing up will be fired, ready to go. And there seems to be something reading on here. I can't really get. That's how far I can get. Let's see. It says it looks like a E, maybe 600972. It's really hard. It's so small. It's really hard to tell. And of course, the front sights are almost similar to the M79. Probably help because of the flip up sight. And of course, you do also get the rubber buttstock to help to ease with the shoulders from firing the weapon. Now, it does not have that weird stock like the M79 does, so you don't really have to fire it just up in the air. It's probably due to the fact with the barrel, which is kind of cool. You can actually see inside the barrel. Of course, you can see how it kind of works. Of course, you can see the little white circle in the center. That's where the grenades, that's where they prime to fire the grenades. And of course, the ejector goes out. So pretty interesting. You can see inside of the gun. And of course, it does have the little swirl barrel, just like the M79. Alright, let's get to the attachments. Well, of course, the only ammunition we have is the secondary round. But thanks to a recent update that's been added on the PC version of Payday 2, during the smuggler weapon pack 2, now you have another ammunition available to, or either ammunition or underbarrel that fires like an EMP round. So I thought these were only available on the underbarrel weapons, but they're also applied to ammunition for the grenade launchers as well. So you can now have EMP rounds, so you don't have to have HE rounds or fire rounds, so that's kind of cool. And of course, like incendiary rounds, it's like M79, it changed a little bit different completely, so they don't, so the HE rounds and incendiary rounds don't function the same. They're completely different. You can put on any boost you want, and the only unique attachment it has is the riot stock. And of course, that's all it does. And well, it can reach. Well, that's probably the only thing people would use it for concealment wise. Dodge or crits build does have the riot stock and the concealment boost. If you're an armor player, stick with the team boost. And you can see the stats between the M79 and China Lake are exactly the same, except for the fact that China Lake has 3 more rounds, or 2 extra more rounds, and doing less damage. And you may see the reload time is much more longer on the China Lake. That's only applied if you're doing an empty reload. So you fire all 3 of your shots, you reload 3 of your rounds, and then you do the pump to get the thing loaded up and cocked and ready. But with the China Lake, if you just reload 1 shell or 1 round of the grenade, you actually reload it faster than the M79. So there's a difference between the two. Well, but that's it for the China Lake. Now, let's see this bad boy in action. See you in the field. Alright, now we're at the safe house, and I'm gonna fire off with the China Lake. And you can definitely tell that the weapons is quite similar to the M79, especially with the flip-up sight. So I'll just bring these 2 out just in case. So you can see they are a little bit different. The iron sight for the M79 is, of course, essentially, you know, fits perfectly. It line up the sight perfectly. While the China Lakes is, with its flip-up sight, it's just a little bit over. So you can still see the front post sight a lot more. But that's to be expected. Alright, let's load this thing up and gotta make some boom. Alright, going hot. Not bad for range, but just in case I need more ammunition, because you don't have much rounds with these weapons, even with fully loaded. So I'll see how well it is with the flip-up sight. So anytime I aim with the flip-up sight, I use the front post sight, and when I go to flip it, I use the little hole a bit of the right side of the flip-up to adjust my range. And normally this is usually where it goes. Sometimes you have to aim a little bit up. Let's just say if I want to aim for this pipe here, I will probably have to line up my little circle, my little peephole, and fire it away. And normally we'll try to get there to the top. Alright, so let's see how this goes. Well, at a very long range. So somewhere around here is fine. So I'll try to aim at this wall, just try to get a nice practice, and notice I'll try to aim the same level as the door. And of course, the further you go, while still aiming at the same level, the small trajectory you get. So you have to aim a little bit up. Not bad, and let me see, I can try to get this window, which I probably require a little bit more, so I'll try to match it up. And I also use the front point sight to also level it up as well, and let's see if I can get the window. Ah, just hit the top. Not bad. Put up one more round. Well, I'm going to show you the differences with the reload times between these two grenade launchers. Alright, I'll show you how long the M79 is when you try to load just one round. You had to do all that process just to load up one round. Well, if you have at least 2 or 1 round left, all you need to do is just reload one. And you can see how quick that is. You just lift the gun up and you just load it into the tube without any problem. With the M79, once you shoot, it's a one done and deal until you have to reload it, until you have to break the action, get that round out, and then put it in again, and then snap the gun back into place, which does take some time. And well, like, I'm not gonna show you the other weapon with the attachment because you're gonna keep the flip up sight on the China Lake all the time. Where the M79, if you pick on the short barrel, you remove the flip up sight and the iron sights as a whole. So the M79 is still a clear winner of the best crits grenade launcher than the China Lake. The China Lake can only get at least a bit half. Well, that's about it. And I'll show you, and I'll give you my conclusion on the China Lake. See you in a second. Overall, the China Lake, it's an interesting weapon, and definitely one of my favorite secondary weapons in Payday 2. Not only because of its versatility, but this helped to release on crowd control as a whole. And it still does. Even though people may use the XM25 or the M320 GLM as their preferred grenade launcher for the secondary, the China Lake fits somewhere in between. It can take out multiple weak cops in a crowd control, and it has boost enough damage for it. And plus, you don't have to worry about the one shot and deal because you have to land that accurate shot. And I do have to say, this was probably the weapon choice that people run with the light crossbow, or the lightweight crossbow, when the 1 down difficulty was a thing. I, even myself, run this because of how powerful it was in a crits build, or a dodge build. I just don't have much to say on the weapon. It just does what it does best. You just shoot, go boom, you cock it, you pump it, shoot it again. It just does it for you. Nothing much more. Of course, I still like the M79 for its purpose, and also the China Lake. I do have to say, it is also fun to rock the two of them. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the China Lake, and thank you for watching, everyone. Until next time, farewell, and have a wonderful day, everyone.